Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Couple minutes on the score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
It's double bubble, basketball fans. Welcome to week 8 on the British Basketball League. Friday night means it's time to double screen. Starting shortly, it's first versus second, London up against the in-form Bristol. But stay right here for the Plymouth City Patriots against the Caledonia Gladiators. The men from Scotland have won 4 out of their last 5 and are currently sat in 3rd. Plymouth are propping up the league and have lost 6 straight games. Surrey head coach Lloyd Gardner is calling this one alongside Dan Routledge.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Yes, welcome to the Plymouth Pavilions. The Patriots really needing a win against Caledonia in the midst of a monster road trip, having been away in European action this week. Lloyd Gardner, you broke Plymouth's hearts last week, beating them in overtime. They're desperate for a win here today.
Yeah, momentum's a big thing in this game. We know that. So, for Plymouth, they just need that tipping point, something to get them over the hump.
Well, let's have a look at the starting fives for today's game. Starting with the Plymouth City Patriots, they gave 2 debuts last week against Lloyd Gardner, and both of those debutants into the starting 5. Green and Levi getting their first starts of the season for the Plymouth City Patriots. Green against his old club, of course. At the other end of the floor, a familiar looking 5 for the Caledonia Gladiators. Patrick Whelan, off his heroics against his old team last week, will be looking to continue that form, but you know what you're going to get out of this Caledonia starting 5. And Lloyd, one guy you wanted to look at, of course, he played for Caledonia when they were the Glasgow Rocks, Terrell Green.
Yeah, Terrell Green, as you said, new addition to this Plymouth City Patriots team. He's a guy who's going to be relied on to try and get some three-point shooting going for the team, which right now is bottom of the league in three-point percentage.
And at the other end of the floor, we talked about the heroics from Whelan, but this guy hit the game winner, Clifton Moore. Yeah,
Moore's kind of an unsung hero, really, for this Caledonia team. Came off a big game against Plymouth last time these two teams met. He had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and as you said, coming off that game winner last weekend as well. So see if he can add a good performance on the inside.
Well, we're not far away from tip-off here at the Pavilions. We will have that right after this break.
In the corner for the win! David Slice wins it at the buzzer!
Couldn't convert.
DeBose out to Whelan, open for the lead. Patrick Whelan back-to-back threes, and Caledonia are ahead.
It had to be Pat Whelan.
Steele for the win. No, Wang! Wang has jumped it in on the buzzer.
They're
just not capitalizing here at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're London, you've still got to be worried about it, as we see another.
Oh my goodness! The behind the back dot coming.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an AG. Jumping off of buildings
Nice
with
pass inside. Thomas on the baseline.
I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to go. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Welcome back to Plymouth. Paul James still on the cusp of that 500th league win. Will it be tonight? He's been waiting a few weeks. He'll want that stat to get out of the way, so we stopped talking about it. But the ball is up and we are underway, and it is the visitors, Caledonia, who get us off. Busy week for them away in Spain in the Euro Cup in midweek. Heavy defeat for them there. They're here tonight. They're at Bristol on Sunday. A lot of miles racked up, but can they keep their winning streak domestically going? Here's Ali Hodzic inside, able to drop it in for two.
Oh, solid start for Caledonia, wasn't it? Ran through the set all the way down to the end, get an easy finish. Good start from them. At this end of the floor for Plymouth, like we talked about, it's about the three-point shooting for them.
Well, there's a three right to start them off. It's off the mark from Faulkner. Green's going to step into one, and you know he's going to be pumped against his old team.
Oh, and that's why we highlighted him before the game. We said he's a guy, he's been brought in for his three-point shooting, and already you see the impact of the two new guys. Levi on the glass once again, Green knocking down the three.
Well, he hit a couple early against you. Didn't finish very good percentage. He'll be hoping for a bit more with a few more days practice in the legs. And Spencer Levi pleading for a jump ball, but the foul is gone against him, so it'll be two free throws.
Hodzic catching it deep in the lane is a problem for Plymouth, though. You don't want him to be able to catch it 2 feet. You know, he's a very good finisher in and around the basket, very good passer as well if you try to rotate against him. So it's important you do your work early. Don't let him catch it deep. That's something that Levi has got to learn. And he picks up a cheap foul there after we see the impact on the other end of the floor.
Well, it has been an issue for them this season, Plymouth. They've been a bit undersized. Levi gives them some energy and some aggression on the glass, but it's going to be a challenge against Ali Hodzic, and then presumably more when he checks in.
Yeah, a bit more depth, though, for Plymouth, really, with Wiley coming in. I think he's played pretty well overall, so now they've at least got that three-man rotation up front.
Here's Faulkner. Back to Atwood. Atwood has been their leading scorer so far this season. Cross court to Faulkner. Thinks about the three. Puts it on the floor instead. Scoops it up off the glass. Foul is called. He will shoot two.
Solid from Plymouth, you know. They go to Atwood on the switch. It's a matchup they like. He can back it down. He was unselfish, and Faulkner doesn't settle for the three. We said, you know, they've had their worries from the three-point line. So if you're not shooting it well, get them easy ones early. You know, it's surprising when you get going, you make a couple of finishes like Faulkner does, or get to the line, how easy it makes your three-point shooting.
Well, the other thing is, this is a fairly unique venue in British basketball terms. You see the crowd's in the dark, the spotlight on the stage, if you like, and you know, they don't need much encouragement, these fans. So if their team can get on top early, they'll be there loud and proud.
Well, momentum. It's momentum coming into the game for Plymouth. Like we said, they need that tipping point, but momentum within the game as well. And that's what you're talking about. It's vital for them to just get something that the crowd can hold on to.
DeVos back to Whelan. A lot of space for him. And it's a good challenge in the end from Johnson. Faulkner. Onwas chasing him out to the corner. Atwood to the spin, gets himself some room, and that rims out.
That's his shot though, Atwood. He's really good all around the edge of the paint on those pull-ups, those spin moves.
No way past Green. Caledonia keep the ball. DeBose backs out for three, and they just didn't react well there to the loose ball.
No, that's exactly it. Well, not even just the loose ball, it fell to DuBose, but then you've got to get a challenge. Maybe managed to do it on the first attempt. Needed that second effort if you're Plymouth.
Whelan trying to jump the gap there and steal the ball. Johnson able to hang on to it. Stepping through, found a little room where there didn't look to be any, and there is Levi on the glass tapping it home.
The tempo is important for Plymouth. What we've seen is it's been slow at this end of the floor. Caledonia ticking that scoreboard over. It means Plymouth can't run as easily. This is the opportunity for them, but they can't clean up the glass.
Well, that's another one where they've just had a little mental breakdown. That should have been an easy defensive rebound. Instead, it's 2 points.
And they're the plays that are the difference in winning and losing. That's why Caledonia, have been playing so well while they've been on a run. That's why Plymouth are having their worries.
Faulkner top of the key, back iron. Batted out, Green. He can't convert either. And this is a Paliza in the corner. The first for Caledonia. They've obviously played a couple of games already in the Europe Cup and won them, but this is the first time they're coming off the back of a defeat into a short turnaround British Basketball League game, and how that mentally affects the team.
Yeah, just the travel alone as well. Traveling in, haven't been home, come to this next one. It's a really different just task for them, something they've got to get used to.
Game really got away from them in the second half against Bilbao. It's made their passage through look a little bit more difficult now with the points difference against them in the FIBA Europe Cup. It's the British Basketball League they're concerned about right now, and they should have been behind because Green should have laid that in. Nice little dish back to Onwas, who is able to finish.
At the end of the day, the ball's about putting the game's about putting the ball in the basket. They've got good shots, good shots. Right guys shooting in the right spots. They just haven't made it yet. They've just got to stay positive with what they're doing. They can't get disheartened so early in the game.
Well, these two teams played up in Caledonia early in the season. I thought Plymouth played pretty well until they got behind. And once they got behind, suddenly the shot selection wasn't great. The defense wasn't quite at a level. So they won't want to drift behind once again as DeBose trying to get to the rim. There's Ali Hodgic. They've done a good job on the offensive glass, and they've turned it into second chance points.
Well, frustrating, I think, is the best word for Plymouth in that first 5 minutes.
7:13 here, 4:59 timeout is called. We'll be back after this.
Skylar White does well to keep the ball from going out of play.
Still got the rebound, he passed it to me. So me and Ethan, as he was running down the court, was making like eye connection. Like, I'm like, go, go, go. Running. So then boom, put between my legs and just do it. And I just had no look to it. My name is LaQuincy Rito. I play for Chester Phoenix. I'm the point guard. Jazz music is, it keeps you calm, helps you find that rhythm that you're looking for. The term, I have that dog in me, that's me, honestly. Like, I won't back down from anybody, never been, never will. I would prefer doing the assists than scoring, because that's the thing about being a point guard, is like getting your teammates involved and keeping them happy and making yourself happy as well. My play style is like risk and reward, so it's like, what's the point of like playing if you're not gonna take that risk? Because the risk is always gonna be with a bigger reward. I want to be the best version of me. I want to make a connection with my teammates and make brotherhood. The goal is to win.
Welcome back to the Plymouth pavilions, where the Patriots have possession of the ball but are trailing by 6 here early on, trying to get their offense going. As you said before the break, Lloyd, they've had some good looks, but they've got to be able to convert them.
This should be one. Faulkner gets a good one, but another miss. You know, I always feel Plymouth are in the best when they get out in the transition as well. Haven't been able to get into the open floor too early. I think Caledonia will be happy with the way this game's gone so far. Exactly what they want.
That basket won't count. The foul was called on the floor, so it'll be an end-line ball to Caledonia. Almost, you could see he knew Faulkner was on his back and thought, I've got a mismatch here in the post. It's probably a good foul to get him before he's gone to the basket. Here's Malcolm. Getting into Ali Hodgic at the free throw line, misses everything, straight out of bounds.
Some good signs defensively for Plymouth. You know, had a couple of good possessions. The big thing, like I said, they've got to finish the possession with a rebound and then try to get something for some momentum offensively. Will it be something in transition like we talked about, or someone just hit a couple of jumpers?
Well, more into the game for the first time. Well, talking about Paul James and sitting on 499 in terms of league wins. This is a guy with over 1,100 games as a coach, never mind his playing days in the British Basketball League. So he's seen everything, but he's desperate to turn this losing streak around, and that won't help. Turnovers like that. It's good defensive play from DeBose, not only to knock the ball loose, but also to bounce it off the legs of his opponent.
Yeah, superb individual defense. Not only, you know, he's guarding a mismatch really on the switch, takes care of the bigger man on a post up and gets the steal.
DeBose runs into traffic and the foul is called on Levi. That's his second personal foul. Oh, he's just jumped up in the air, and actually his teammate had things covered on the floor.
It's a tough one on Levi. Changes the dynamic for Plymouth there as Joe Hart comes in. So they're back to these smaller lineups. Atwood moving to the 4. Not really the team you want to go small against as Patrick comes in. You know, Caledonia, one of the biggest teams in the league across that front line. So this will be an interesting matchup. Both teams advantage on either end. You know, Caledonia surely look to go to the inside, but for Plymouth, can they use that speed, that athleticism perhaps, to play out on the perimeter a little bit more?
Well, that's the other thing, is people look at it and go, oh, this guy's 6'10", he's going to be guarded by a guy who's 6'5" or whatever height. He's going to beast him inside, but it doesn't always work out like that, and sometimes the speed can cost you at the other end of the floor.
It's a game of advantage and disadvantage. The challenge is always to make your advantages bigger than your disadvantages, and that's what Atwood has done. You know, he's been a tremendous performer as that small ball 4 all year.
Whiling with a nice roll to the basket for 2.
Really nice offense from Plymouth. And finally, they just get it to go. That's the difference, you know. 2 or 3 of 13 now from the field.
The other thing, putting Joe Hart on the floor also increases your IQ, whoever he's coming in for, because he's a smart basketball player. They obviously missed him last year out the whole season with a injury, but we've seen this year as he's worked his way back to fitness what a vital player he is for this Patriots team.
Yeah, and you know, the three-point shooting, the IQ like you talk about, but the leadership as well is something that Plymouth desperately need right now, and that's something that he can
could have played a little better defense, as we were talking.
Well, you talked about his offensive IQ and his
yeah.
offensive abilities. Yeah. You know, we'll give him a possession off defensively.
Here's Johnson, who knows that short because he's gone running after it. And that, I thought on first take that might have come off more on the way out, but it's been given as a Caledonia ball. We won't mention questionable out-of-bounds plays at this end of the floor.
No comment.
Let's have a look. Well, it could have been.
Yeah, I think so.
Could have been. Here's Buttrick. Short on his shot. He's obviously missed games recently through injury. Good to see him back out on the floor. He had a good game against you guys earlier this year as well.
Yeah, really did. Maybe his best game of the season, shot the ball extremely well. That was the scout coming in, and you know, that game in particular, first game in the new arena in Caledonia, you know, really did cause us some problems.
A friendly bounce there for the Patriots.
Bit of momentum coming now though for Plymouth. You know, the different lineups on the floor, so perhaps a little bit more used to playing with this small ball lineup.
Great block from Wiley, but another offensive rebound. Two of them, in fact, make that three. They're still going after it. Can't get a score. Faulkner running it back is blocked, and that will stay with Plymouth.
Rebounding is the thing, isn't it? That's the reason that Plymouth have made these changes. You know, this is the lineup we've seen from them throughout the year with Green and Levi out. They've got to find a way to gang rebound as they do on that last one, because it leads to opportunities like this. You can't let Faulkner get in the open floor, but you've got to be able to rebound first of all.
Elvisi Dusha into the game for the first time. Hasn't really found his form yet this season, Elvisi. You think back this time last year, he was Player of the Month in November. They could do with that version of Elvisi back.
Him and Jules Dangakodo as well, both coming in for the first time.
Nice little spin from Wiley, and that one did come off a Caledonia hand, so will be an inline ball for the Patriots.
Like the effort from Wiley. It'll be interesting. He's obviously started every game up until now, coming off the bench for the first time, and sometimes you wonder how players will react to that. I like the positivity that he's shown. He appears to be fired up.
You go out and play well and show the coach why he should be back in the starting lineup. Hot off the mark with that one. Patrick just taking route one there, right down the middle, and the foul is called on Atwood, his first.
He's got good position, Atwood. He needs to be a bit more disciplined. The ball's there, kind of sees it. You've got to have that discipline of not trying to get a steal when you've got great defensive position as he had. You know, he wants to just wall up, be big, force the offense to make a finish. If he gets in foul trouble, it's a big problem for Plymouth, with Levi already kind of picking up a couple of early ones as well.
First free throw is good. Buttrick on the board. He goes 2 for 2. Elvisi Dusha. Here's Wiley, back out to Dusha. Atwood into the key, tosses it up and tosses it in. And one thing he's shown this year is he can put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, he really can, and it's unconventional shots as well that Atwood makes. We said all around the edge of the key is where he gets so many points.
Yeah, it's almost like he shoots from positions that other players don't anymore in the modern game. More nice footwork to create some space, and then he's long, he rises over them.
And he's a great athlete as well, just the ability to elevate over any defenders.
Dangakodo off the mark for 3. Moore needs a little help here. He's picked it up in an awkward spot, gets it out to Jovicic. Patrick flush off the three-point line. Malcolm is open. Oh, another offensive rebound. And Johnson turns to the referee. Say, I was fouled there, ref, surely, but it's over the top and out of bounds.
Everyone's complaining about fouls. Coach James wants a foul on the rebound. He thinks his team was pushed. Caledonia want a foul on the finish. No one gets him. Fist 5 is the call. There you go. Well, the other head coach is watching. That's the scout.
There we go.
On Plymouth for next game. A zone defense, though, for Caledonia.
A lash offense of the first quarter with the shot clock turned off. Nice kick to the corner. Dangakodo is open. His 3 is off the mark. This time here, Buttrick running it back. Oh, he's lost it. Dangakodo will run it back, but he couldn't see the clock, and he ran out of time, so that basket will not count. We're at the end of the first here. Caledonia with an 8-point lead. We'll be right back after this break.
Couldn't convert.
DeBose out to Whelan, open for the lead. Patrick Whelan back-to-back threes, and Caledonia are ahead.
It had to be Pat Whelan.
Steele for the win. No, Wang has jumped it in on the buzzer.
They're just not capitalizing here at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're London, you've still got to be worried about it as we see another.
Oh my goodness! The behind the back dot coming.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings with
Thomas on the baseline.
I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Welcome back to the Plymouth Pavilions, where Paul James and his City Patriots trail 21 points to 9. Daniel Routledge and the Surrey Scorchers coach Lloyd Gardner watching on, and one of your former players with the ball there, LVC Dusha inside. You had LVC for a season, was it, at the London City, or part of a season?
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to the end of the season, but yeah, London City Royals. Great addition, great teammate, great, guy to have as part of the team. He's going to have to be a leader here for Plymouth.
Was Jules on that team as well?
No.
Kodo, no,
he wasn't. Jules played the year before.
Yeah. Lobbed into Moore. Almost stolen away. He's able to keep the ball, but only to throw it to Wiley. Wiley in the open court, drops it back to Atwood under pressure. And Plymouth can't get something in transition there. And Caledonia can, and you just see the difference in the difficulty there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Right now, it's all about points for Plymouth. They've had some decent defensive sequences, but, they've just got to find a way to get this scoreboard ticking over.
And the reality is 23 points in 11 minutes is about par, isn't it? But 13 is well below.
Yeah. And the challenge for Plymouth with this lineup on the floor, who is going to be the guy? Who is going to be the step-up scorer? You talked about LVC last year, when he was Player of the Month, he was doing everything for the team. He was scoring, he was providing for others. This lineup on the floor, you're looking at him, you're looking at Atwood as two guys that are going to have to kind of carry the load, either scoring themselves or getting other guys really good, clean shots.
Well, we saw last week in the game against Leicester that Caledonia at times can get a little bit offensively challenged when the bench unit was in. It was really a funny game against Leicester. It was their starting five dominated Leicester, and the bench unit was the other way around, and it ends up who makes the final shot as a result.
And as you said, when you play on the road, as Caledonia have done in Europe during the week, you need a full roster. It can't just be 5 guys, whether they're starters or not. You need lots of contributions from lots of guys.
Shot clock low here. Jovicic has to heave this from miles out. One-handed, misses everything. But he wasn't really put in a spot where he could do much with that.
I think that's what we're talking about, both sides, isn't it? A poor offense from Caledonia. Didn't really look like they had a direction with what they're doing, but good defense from Plymouth.
Plymouth need to find something here at the offensive end. It's Wiley. Dusha along the baseline, nice dish. Wiley through the contact basket is good, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
And that is the VC Dusha that we need if you're a Plymouth City Patriots fan. Creating the opportunity, great patience from him to get that little pass and make it easy for Wiley.
Well, yeah, it's been uncharacteristically numbers from LVC this season. His assists are way down, his shooting numbers are way down. And this is a guy, you know, we've seen at times have 15, 16, 17 assists in a game.
Yeah, we know the quality. So it's still early season, you know, but he's a guy that's going to have to step up for Plymouth. It's an interesting lineup here. And almost Green playing as a three-man rather than the four, so having to guard out on the perimeter.
Well, good hands, stolen away by outward numbers here. Wiley to the rim, and some run-outs. You were talking about it earlier. Plymouth at their best when they get in transition.
When you're struggling for points, the easiest way is to get a couple of layups in transition. Everybody feels good about it. You know, you get that momentum now going into a timeout.
7:46 on the clock. A little bit, as you say, of momentum for the Patriots. They've cut the gap down to 4, and Paul James will be wanting them to continue this momentum coming out. But as you say, it's defense to offense, and we were asking who's going to score coming out of this bench unit. Good assists from Dusha to Wiley, and then again him in the open court.
Well, we played Plymouth in pre-season. You know, it's not sometimes not a true reflection of a game. But Jacob Wiley had 38, I think 35 in that game. He was incredible. Did a bit of everything on the floor. You know, and I like the aggression. I like the response from him, having been moved to come off the bench. You know, sometimes we see guys, as we mentioned, they'll sulk, they'll pout. He has not done that in any way. He's been more aggressive. You know, he's really come out with a point to prove, and I've been impressed with his play right here. And that's the reason Plymouth are right there, even though they've had their struggles offensively.
Well, he's got 7 points already, Jacob Wiley. His season high so far, not counting the preseason, only 15. They could do with a 20-plus game from him here tonight to help that scoreboard keep ticking. There's Kyle Johnson, the veteran Great Britain point guard. Hands it off to Jovicic. Looking to attack. Steps back. Another offensive rebound. They've done an incredible job of crashing the glass. They don't get any points that time, but they've got 6 offensive rebounds and 8 second chance points already. Atwood with the spin, that one short. Dusha with the rebound, gives it back to him. Dangakoto floats one up, way too high.
I prefer to see Jules be the provider on those drives.
Johnson stood and watched his shot when Patrick chased it down. Oh, good hands. Dangakoto diving in, stealing it away. Oh, Atwood can't finish in transition. Good challenge back, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what Jules can do. A good recovery from him, but again, look at this, Caledonia, there's no one there from Plymouth. I mean, you said about our game last week, it was that end of the floor where Spencer Levi was all over the offensive glass, and right now, you know, it's the same thing, but the other way around. Caledonia just dominating the glass. Plymouth have got to change something there.
Well, double figures, 10 of their 25 have come from second chance points. And Levi with 2 fouls early on. We've not seen him since, and it's one of those things as a coach, you've got to have that balance of, you don't want him to pick up a 3rd foul, but you also need what he brings to the floor out there to keep you in the game.
Yeah, yeah. Always a tough balance, you know, knowing when to bring guys out. You know, you want, as you said, you want them to be aggressive. You don't want them to be playing, thinking about fouls.
I've known PJ a long time. I always thought of him as a guy that would generally trust a player out there. Generally roll the dice on that. As Dusha knocks down a 3, only the 2nd 3-pointer of the season for LVC Dusha.
Through his career, that's been the MO. You know, LVC Dusha, great 3-point shooter, great distributor of the ball. We've seen that a bit more here today.
Another good hands, this time from Wiley. Late in the shot clock again for Caledonia. Jovicic loses it. Chance to run. Dusha pushing. Kicks to the corner. And sportsmanlike foul has been called. Presumably for what happened with Dusha. Now, to be fair, I was looking at the corner, but it must have been the contact from on the pass. Let's see if we can see it here. Oh, I didn't see a great deal in that. But Elvisi will take it, that's for sure.
Again, going back to the momentum. This is it. Plymouth have got the momentum now. Chance for the line, and as we said, you know, what a key this man at the line is for Plymouth. If they can add in a performance from him, you know, really will help. So just one of two, but possession as well.
Well, they've got 10 points in this quarter already. They only had 13 in the first. And we've seen at times Caledonia offensively get stuck in the 60s. So you can win that way. We've seen Plymouth get stuck down there as well, to be fair. Here's Wiley on the turnaround. Probably not the best shot there out of the sideline possession.
Trying to go to the hot hand, though. You know, I said how well Wiley has played, so I like them trying to feed him.
DeBose. DeBose looking to create again. They're deep in the shot clock here. It has to go up. Gets it off just in time, but it's short. For once, Plymouth pulled out a defensive rebound.
Great boards, yeah.
Chance to level the game here. Dusha. Dangakoto trying to create some room. Dusha steps into a three, and that is short. Saved though, but only to Clifton Moore. Buttrick going past his man in worst of all worlds there from Green. He didn't really get out of the way. Commits a foul, but not a hard one, and it's an easy lay-in and an and one. 4:24 to go. It is a 4-point Caledonia lead. Timeout is called. We'll be right back.
Skylar White does well to keep the ball from going out of play.
Still got the rebound. He passed it to me. So me and Ethan, as he was running down the court, we was making like eye connection. Like, I'm like, go, go, go. Running, running, running. So then, boom, put between my legs and just threw it. And I just had a no look to it. My name is LaQuincy Rito. I play for Chester Phoenix. I'm the point guard. Jazz music is, it keeps you calm, helps you find that rhythm that you're looking for. And, you know, the term, I have that dog in me, that's me, honestly. Like, I won't back down from anybody, never been, never will. I would prefer doing the assists than scoring, because that's the thing about being a point guard, is like getting your teammates involved and keeping them happy and making yourself happy as well. My play style is like risk and reward, so it's like, what's the point of like playing if you're not gonna take that risk? Because the risk is always gonna be with a bigger reward. I wanna be the best version of me. I'm making connection with my teammates and make brotherhood. The goal is to win.
Welcome back to the pavilions. Home fans hoping to see a little bit of history tonight. Hoping to see Paul James finally get that 500th league win of his coaching career. But his team can't get a rebound again. So they get a 2 and nearly a 3 off the back of it, but they do get a rebound this time. Johnson looking to penetrate his foul.
Just looking at the stats, Dan, Trent Buttrick is 1 field goal away from a double-double in 9 minutes.
It's quite an impact on the game.
Yeah, I mean, rebounding the ball. What an impact he has had. So he's going to go out here, take a breather, but what a 10 minutes for him. That's been 8 points, 10 rebounds already in this first half.
4 of the rebounds at the offensive end. As he sits down, as I say, he's had a few weeks on the sidelines with injury, so he looks like he's making up for some lost time here today, doesn't he? As Johnson knocks down the free throw. It's a 3-point lead with 4 minutes to go to halftime.
Caledonia just 6 points here in 6 minutes.
Almost back to their full starting lineup. Whelan off the mark for 3. Faulkner driving through and bumped out of bounds by Onwas, so that'll be 2 free throws.
Yeah, this is a time both teams pretty much back to those starting units, like you said. You know, this is where Caledonia got their lead. The second units for both teams, similar to the game against Leicester, as you were kind of talking about before. You know, that's when Plymouth have come back in. So now this lineup on both sides, it's for Caledonia. Pressure's back on. Can you push that lead out a bit more? For Plymouth, can you just hang there or thereabouts going into the halftime? They'll give you some confidence. You know, they'll give you a bit of the positivity about the things you've done well. And then you're just talking about cleaning up rebounds, really, if you're Plymouth heading into the second half.
Yeah, the reality is they've given up double-figure offensive rebounds. I mean, to be fair, Plymouth have crashed the offensive glass as well, but the biggest difference is that Caledonia have turned them into twice as many second chance points as Plymouth has. And in a 25-27 game, those are big points.
Well, that's absolutely it. You know, when you're shooting 25% from the field, as Plymouth are, you can't afford to let the opposition, you know, get 2 or 3 chances at it.
A bit of full court pressure here from Plymouth, just to try and slow them down, get them a little late into the offense. DeBose drops it down to Onwas, who floats it up, another offensive rebound. Ali Hodgic gets his man up in the air. Levi's done well there. He had to avoid that 3rd foul, but he came up with the block and the rebound. It's going to be a foul on Whelan, reaching around the screen to slow the defender down. He has a look of bemusement. I think that's partly because he thought he got fouled at the other end for something similar.
You know, Patrick Whelan's been speaking during the week on his podcast about, you know, the physicality of the games in Europe. I think that's probably one where he's looking and saying, well, on Wednesday night, I was running into those screens and the other way, it was never a foul. You know, you've got to get that adjustment between the European games and the BBL. It's another thing that, you know, they've got to contend with this year.
It is a busy week for them. Bilbao on Wednesday, Plymouth on Friday, Bristol on Sunday. But that is what they signed up for. That's what they wanted, to play those big games in Europe. So they would have hoped to have been slightly closer to Bilbao. It was an interesting game for the first half, but really got away from them in the second.
Palazar's come in. You know, we've talked about the 3-point shooting of Green.
Yeah.
Palazar's one of those guys on the other side who's an excellent sniper from the outside. And, you know, Caledonia haven't got going yet from beyond the 3-point line. We've talked about Plymouth's woes, but Caledonia are a team kind of built on good 3-point shooting as well. You know, guys like Palazar, we see there, Whelan, you know, DeBose, Onwas can knock them down, Fraser Malcolm off the bench as well. And they're just 2 of 10 right now. That's one of the reasons why they've been struggling for these points. Their inability to create and make good, clean looks.
Palazar was 5 for 5 against Leicester. He missed his last 2, but the first 5 all went in, and obviously Whelan hit a couple of threes late on. That's going to be the 3rd foul on Levi, and we talked about the gamble that you take in putting him out. It hasn't paid off here today.
No, he's surely going to have to go to the bench here, bring Wiley back in.
We'll come back in. Spencer will take a break.
Well, it's quite often the way we saw last week against you guys in the Surrey Scorchers. A very impressive debut on the glass. Game 2, not so much. He gets himself in foul trouble.
Yeah, the problem for Levi, you know, as we said, it's that balance. You want to be super aggressive. You know, if you take away his ability to get after on the defensive end to really, you know, crash the boards, you lose half the player.
Yeah.
So it's always a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why you've got Jacob Wiley, you know, playing so well, and that's why you want him and that depth as well.
Well, 3 is off the mark for Fulton now. 1 point Plymouth lead. Caledonia, a little hesitation, trying to find some room on the baseline is Wheeler. DeBose attacks and is fouled by Atwood, and that'll be 2.
You know, it's DeBose that gets to the basket, but the screen from Ali Hodzic, he came up the middle, and then you see it there, he changes the screen right at the last minute to go on the other side, and what that meant was Wiley was out of position. So because Wiley expected to be the screen to be on one side, when Ali Hodzic switched it to the other side, there was no help there. That's how DeBose gets to the ring, and that's where, you know, Atwood's then late to recover, late to rotate over, because he didn't know that opening was going to be there.
Well, it's one of those things that if you're relatively new to the game, it's hard to pick up the screens, but Ali Hodzic is a good screener.
Yeah.
And it's so much about, as you talked about earlier, creating mismatches, creating advantages for you. Is Faulkner firing up the 3 and knocks it down. Well, Plymouth, like Caledonia, were 2 of 10 from the 3-point line before that one. DeBose had his arms knocked away. He's a little frustrated he didn't put that in, but he will shoot 2.
Yeah, I can understand why they like posting him. You know, he's not particularly big, but he's a physical guard, is DeBose. So he likes to post up against guys who are even bigger than him. As I think Taylor Johnson might have a little bit of size on him, but, you know, but the physicality of DeBose is the hard thing that you've got to match up with.
Well, 31-27, Paul James calling a timeout with 2:04 to go. But given how they struggled to score offensively in the early stages, Plymouth, they'll be pretty pleased with how they've gone in the second quarter. The other end of the floor, Caledonia, with just 6 points in this period.
Yeah, I mean, for Plymouth, what they've been able to do is get to the free throw line as well. You know, a third of their points right now coming from the stripe, and that's a great way when you aren't making shots, when you're having your struggles. It's just a way to keep that scoreboard ticking over, stay within a game, because you've got to believe, you know, the Plymouth team have got guys that can make shots. You know, you've got to believe that those averages, that you're going to start to make them. So if you're getting the right guys to shoot it, so that's where the free throws really help. And for Caledonia, as we said, you know, even though they haven't played badly, I think they'll be frustrated with the performance so far. I don't think they've got great looks from beyond the 3-point line. You know, I understand why they're going to the inside, but yeah, they're going to have to just make a better percentage of shots. This is a team that, you know, is used to being a good shooting team.
Well, I guess the thing is, you talk about Plymouth shots, they're shooting 26% from the floor, and yet they're up 4. You don't see that very often.
No, and you know, Plymouth are the kings of strange numbers. Our game last week, they took 83 shots, we took 66.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unheard of for us to win a game against, you know, against a team like Plymouth, having so few shots. So just the difference in margin there because of the way they crashed the boards, you know, is an important thing. And right here, you know, the shot differential is in favor of Plymouth. So they've taken more shots, but they've also shot a lot more free throws.
Well, it is DeBose trying to get the free throws going here for Caledonia. He's had a bit of a rough game shooting so far, so maybe seeing the ball go through the net from the foul line will get him going. Two to play in the first quarter. No scoring game, just 60 points on the board.
Zone defense again from Caledonia. This is where they'll try and dare Plymouth to see if they can make these threes.
Johnson can't.
You've got to take it if you're Plymouth. Johnson's a good shooter. You know, got a lot of time and space. You just got to back that they're going to go in.
There's a real battle down on the low block between Atwood and Ali Hodzic, and the foul has gone against the Plymouth man. So it'll be 2 free throws for Faro Ali Hodzic.
Is that the third on Atwood as well?
think it is, although they haven't moved on the bench yet. The second one bobbles out. Wiley pulls in the rebound.
They're going to stay in this zone, around that free throw line as well. Wiley and Atwood can both make that jump shot. What a pass from Johnson.
Great pass, saw the gap in the zone. And an easy layup. I was just about to say confirmation, it was his third foul. Here's Whelan driving into the basket and tipped in. A little help from Ali Hodgic.
I mean, Atwood cannot pick up a fourth foul in this minute.
Stolen away by Whelan. DeBose kicks out to the corner. And we talked about his three-point shooting ability. First real look he's had, and he knocks it down.
That's the thing, you know, Caledonia haven't generated great looks from beyond the three-point line. First look for Palazzo, as we said, you know, got a couple of the others. They've only shot 11 now on the game. But a couple of those were kind of forced at the end of a shot clock.
Yep.
I remember Jovicic having to throw it up from near the halfway line. They haven't, you know, credit to Plymouth defense, but also, you know, I think the Caledonia focus has been getting it to the inside rather than looking for the three-point shot.
Well, timeout is called with 53 seconds to go in the first half here at the Plymouth City, Plymouth Pavilions. Busy week in British basketball, of course. Lloyd, your Scorchers in action tomorrow, 5 p.m. against Cheshire Phoenix, a Cheshire team on a high, having won last night in the Northwest Derby. Tricky team to play.
Oh, absolutely. Always every game in this league is a tricky one. You know, Cheshire, I'm sure, will be looking forward to playing us, as we are, you know, looking forward to playing against them.
And then part 3 of the Riders Eagles. We've seen a bit of everything in that rivalry this season. That game is at 7:30. Looking forward to that, and that will be followed at 8 o'clock by Sheffield against Manchester, the Trans-Pennine Derby. The Roses battle.
Atwood remains on the floor then with the 3 fouls. Wonder if they might take him out. Make sure he doesn't pick up a one here.
Green. Faulkner gets to the elbow. His shot is blocked. Caledonia coming the other way. Nice pass. Poliza at the rim leaves it uncharacteristically short. Paul James, I think, telling Johnson to slow down, but he ignores him, goes all the way to the rim. And there's an offensive foul in there. Is it on Wiley on the rebound, or is it on Johnson on the floor? I'm not sure.
I think it's Johnson on the drive.
It is Johnson who's called for the foul.
It's a double mistake, really, for Plymouth. They've gone so early in the clock. They've missed the finish. They've picked up the foul as well. Good defense from Whelan, and now they've got a full 20 in a lot of time to be able to get a shot and hold for the final possession.
Caledonia haven't been at their best here in the second quarter, but they will go into halftime with the lead. How big will it be? Whelan trying to make it 4. It's off the back of the iron, and that'll do it. This one very much in the balance at the Plymouth Pavilions. Patrick Whelan and the Caledonia Gladiators lead by 2. We'll have a look back at the action from the first half right after this break. Mackenzie out in front, 2 blue shirts back. Oh my! Really attacking the rim and flushing it home. Pinson, fancy dribble, Out to Asbury, falling off balance for three, all string. Pretty play from Leicester.
Couldn't convert.
DeBose out to Whelan, open for the lead. Patrick Whelan back-to-back threes, and Caledonia are ahead.
It had to be Pat Whelan.
Steele for the win. No, Wang has jumped it in on the buzzer.
They're just not capitalizing here at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're London, you've still got to be worried about it, as we see another.
Oh my goodness! The behind the back dot coming.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings with the stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time!
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Well, welcome back to the British Basketball League on YouTube here, and a very tight first half. Surrey Scorchers coach Lloyd Gardner. Lloyd, both teams had moments in that game where they had a bit of momentum, but neither could really take full advantage.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think both teams come in probably at halftime. Plymouth a little happier, but you know, both teams will know they've got to make some improvements in that second half.
Well, if we take a look at the numbers in a moment, I think the shooting percentages for both teams have been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, we talked about three-point shooting coming in. Plymouth being bottom of the league in three-point percentage. They haven't really changed that today. And, you know, for Caledonia, they're a team that's been pretty consistent shooting the ball. Got a lot of guys that can knock it down from me on the three-point line. So surprising that they've had their struggles, and that may well be the story of the second half.
Well, let's have a look at the story of the first half here, and it was a decent start from Caledonia. They managed to crash the glass. Didn't get too much of this. We saw this last week. Green hit a three early on, 2 threes early on, hit an early one here, but they haven't really built on that.
No, I think for Caledonia, we always said, you know, it's a tough place to go. So the offensive rebound, the easy points to the inside, that's positive for them. But, you know, they'll be frustrated with that second quarter, having established the lead to then only score 14 points and not really get that rhythm going with the second unit. That's something that's got to change in the second half.
We talked about the previous meeting between these two teams where Caledonia got a double-figure lead and Plymouth never really looked like coming back. It was important for them to start that second quarter and not let the game get away and get themselves back in front.
Well, we talked about the second unit of Caledonia, but the second unit for Plymouth was big. We see it right there. LVC Dusha played better today in that first half spell. Got good production from Wiley coming in off the bench today as well. The issue for Plymouth, you know, that we've got to look at as well is the foul trouble. You know, Atwood and Levi both being on 3 is massive for them. And they're going to have to manage those minutes, and those two are going to have to be really sensible in the start of this second half.
And as a coach, I mean, both of those guys are guys who will go after a block shot, go after a rebound, the places where you can accidentally pick up a foul, but that's what you want them to do.
Yeah, and I don't think you can take that away. What they've both got to be better at, we talked, you know, we mentioned it for Atwood when he picked up one early, is you've got to have that discipline on the defensive end. So if somebody's driving you against you, you use your body, you know, be solid, but you can't go for steals. You can't reach in and make it easy for the referees to call a foul.
And the reality is, both coaches will go, our shooting numbers have to go up. I mean, the rebounds are sort of skewed by all the offensive rebounds that are in there, but both teams will be looking to push the shooting numbers up. Turnovers not too bad.
Well, Plymouth had 2 turnovers late. They had 1 going into the final 2 minutes of that first half. That's why they've been able to stay in the game. But as you said, that three-point shooting, you almost feel like whoever starts to get going early from the three-point line is going to win this game.
Well, one team who did get going early from the three-point line was the Cheshire Phoenix last night in the Northwest Derby. Let's have a look back at the highlights of that. Manchester in the opening 3 minutes of this game. Size mismatch there. Nice cut to the basket from Jack, who finishes off the glass. That's a tough shot. 35 points and the quarter isn't over. Lewis trying to reply. He strings a three. Lewis ticking down the shot clock, getting in. Knocked away by Ulf. Cheshire have it. 3 on none, and it'll be an easy jam in transition. Christian with the throwdown. Lawton comes back the other way. Nice move. Hudson's going to throw up the alley-oop, and good catch and finish from Jack. Callum Jones with the very trademark Callum Jones shot. Nice draw. Oh my! What a rejection that is from Lawton. Probably a little optimistic. See, oh my goodness! Anderson in the transition. I was just saying how he runs the floor well. Borsier drops it off and a two-handed throwdown. Rideau needs to take his time here. Don't go too soon. He drops it off to Wolf to get some point. Walsh tried to find some space. There wasn't any. He got blocked. 3 on 1. Cheshire with numbers, and Cheshire running the floor as they did in the first half. Here he is to the basket. He's saying, don't forget about me. I haven't gone anywhere. He's going to fire up on the buzzer, and that will do it.
Cheshire Phoenix, they came out, scored 116 points. They know how to get it done.
Oh, get him out of here early. Get him out of here early.
Hooping and Luton is the UK's #1 jersey destination. We're also a creative platform for independent UK basketball brands, basically showcasing the talent and creativity we have in the UK. So we've got everything going from All-Stars all the way to FIBA jerseys. We've got kids jerseys involved in there of all teams, special editions, British basketball jerseys, couple of highlights going all the way back. So we've got some Brighton Bears and Dennis Rodman, the infamous Dennis Rodman stint. So these are some of the t-shirts which we designed with Josh Steele, a player. When we've got these guys which can do fire designs from there, then why not get them involved?
Shout out to the man.
So today we've got Nick, Evan and Legend coming from the Manchester Giants. Take a look around, we're going to get them to pick out some of their favourite jerseys, have some chats.
Now that's a piece of art right there. Look at this one, Bez. Magic. What?
This is tough.
Actually, I might shoot that.
I'm loving this shirt. Shoot.
Oh!
Get him out of here early. Get him out of here early.
My favourite jersey was actually what Stamp has, but he won it fair and square. We know and talk about it. But my runner-up is definitely this Blake Griffin Christmas edition Clippers jersey.
Well, this is my favorite jersey because it was Legend's favorite jersey. So the colorway on this is just tough, and so I definitely do like it.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite in the Hooper and Lewis collection. You can see we have the Dallas, the Luka Doncic, the 75 edition. Not just because I wear number 77, my favorite color is actually green too. So the way it's got this like nice green trim, even though Dallas are normally blue. But definitely, this is definitely my favorite.
Basketball culture has been hidden. It's one of the big things I push is about the basketball culture, the things we share. We've got to shout loud what our culture is.
Oh, this is the OBBL jersey?
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's
Wolves.
Yeah. You've even got Birmingham Bullets in there.
Wow.
But that's Fletcher's last ever jersey.
Yo!
So I'm going to come in and give it to me on there. So that's a little bit of history, that.
Yes, sir.
That's cold, man.
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna lie, they are horrible. That jersey is horrible. Yo, this though, the original.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
That's
I would say jerseys like they definitely paint a picture of a story of a franchise, bring Ned City to life.
Oh, she has that one. Yeah, I know.
Culture plays a massive part, and it's about how that culture gets pushed the right way.
I think the culture is growing, and the league's doing a good job of pushing it. It's just going to take time, but it's definitely growing.
Couldn't convert.
DeBose out to Whelan, open for the lead. Patrick Whelan back-to-back threes, and Caledonia are ahead.
It had to be Pat Whelan.
Steele for the win. No, it revolved. Wang has jumped it in on the buzzer.
They're just not capitalizing here at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're London, you've still got to be worried about it as we see another.
Oh my goodness! The behind the back dot coming.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings with the stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, places, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time!
Welcome back to Plymouth, where the regular season is center stage at the moment. But don't forget, coming up in January, the trophy takes over the group stages in the first 3 weeks with 2 groups of 5 looking to get through to the Final Four, semi-finals and finals back-to-back in Birmingham. You're in Group A, Lloyd. Can you plot your way to Birmingham?
No, I don't think I've got that far yet. Obviously, tough group. Both groups tough, you know, pretty well-balanced teams. So, yeah, look forward to a slightly different trophy competition.
Well, for more information, go to the BritishBasketballLeague.com to find out all about this year's trophy. And Lloyd, the typical coach, is only thinking about tomorrow. He's not looking forward to January like the rest of us are, and the new trophy format. But in league play, it is Caledonia who are currently leading Plymouth by a couple of points here in this one. And there is one other game going on in the British Basketball League tonight. That is at the Copper Box in London, where the Lions are on top in that one. And for Caledonia, a busy week. We talked about all of their travel issues, but again, they're playing again on Sunday, so they'll want to try and get on top early in this game and then see what they can do in terms of managing the legs.
Yeah, but as you said, it's game by game. You know, right now, their focus has got to be this one. Good first quarter for them, some disappointment in that second period, so they've got to focus on winning this game right here now, and as you said, hopefully get a lead, then they can start to worry in the fourth quarter about managing minutes and looking forward to a Bristol game on Sunday.
Well, the home fans haven't been treated to a great deal of success this season. They've had some exciting games. They came so close to victory. You're glad they didn't get it last week. Obviously, your Scorchers winning in overtime here. But they've got to find some way of getting themselves over the line. And it is that thing. We talk about basketball being a momentum game during the game. Do you believe in momentum through the season, or is it just compartmentalized everything?
No, absolutely. I think, you know, both winning and losing, it can flow into the next game. When you win and you start well, you've got that confidence going into the next game. You know, and that's something I would say for Plymouth right now. Obviously, they've got that disappointment of a game against, you know, us last week. They would have felt they should have won. They'll be frustrated with that. And is that going to carry over, or can they get the, you know, I mentioned the tipping point here today of getting themselves off the mark? Interesting. Atwood and Levi, sorry, both in the lineup with the 3 fouls, so they can't pick up early ones, either of them.
Levi straight away diving out of the three-point shot, three-point shooter. Your heart's in your mouth on that one. Levi. Hands off to Green. Atwood trying to create a little bit of room. Long-range shot just in the landing space there on Was, and the foul goes against it.
He doesn't make too many defensive mistakes as Princeton Ormas, but that was one for sure. You know, he's frustrated. He doesn't like the call, but you can see clock's winding down. Nothing really on for Plymouth. It had been an offense for nothing, really, and they've been bailed out with 2 free throws.
Well, the referees, one of their points of emphasis is about that landing space foul. You can't get your feet underneath the shooter, and he was too far up into him that time, which is why Atwood's at the foul line, looking to level the scores. Second one has a think, but it does drop, and we're tied at 35 here. You've got a lot of touches early in the game. Kicks it out to DeBose. Looking to attack. Atwood playing defense with his feet wisely. Shot clock. Did he get it away? No, he didn't. 24-second violation. DeBose didn't get the ball out of his hands quick enough.
Just took too long for Caledonia to do something. You know, too long for them to get into the offense. We saw DuBose kind of thinking about attacking the mismatch up top for too long. Just needs to go and then give them a chance for the play to unravel a little more than it did.
Atwood. Again, he's got almost right on him. Nice pass. High arcing shot is off the mark. Whelan, well, he did enough to box Spencer out, but he and DuBose couldn't come up with the ball.
Another defensive mistake for Caledonia, back-to-back, really. You know, it was a good rotation from Ali Hodzic to help on the cut and challenge the shot, but then he's out of position to rebound. Somebody else has got to clean it up for him, and these are the opportunities you've got to take if you're Plymouth.
Johnson can't, but there's Levi on the offensive glass. There's not much room there. He's forced back out, but he's thrown it all the way into the backcourt. And I was waiting for the whistle there. It was a little late, but it is a backcourt violation.
You know, that's the frustration for Plymouth. You've kind of got away with a free possession, couple of mistakes for Caledonia, but you've just not been able to capitalize. You've got a wide open jump shot, you've got an offensive rebound and nothing to show for it.
Which, when you're shooting 26%, that's the way to try and keep the scoreboard ticking over. DeBose backs out, trying to find a place, blocked by Spencer Levi. Green puts it on the floor this time to the runner. That comes out, gets his own rebound. Second attempt, he makes no mistake.
Like Taylor Johnson in that, pushed it, unselfish to give it up to Green. You know, but it's about the defense of Faulkner and Levi this end of the floor.
And Hodzic will lay it in, and that's going to be the 4th personal foul as well. So double whammy for the Patriots.
Yeah, Atwood just late on the rotation. You know, tries to come over, and he says he's got his hands up, but he's just not there in time.
And those are the ones where you go, you know what, just give up the 2 points and stay out of the way.
Yeah, but it also comes back to the early ones he got. You know, when you pick up those early ones where you just don't have the discipline and you reach in, often they're the ones that come back to haunt you, because he's played pretty good defense there, you know, and you go, oh, that's one where he's tried to do the right thing. He's just tried to get his body in the way. But because he gave up the silly ones early, that's where he's been punished, and he's going to have to sit. Surely he won't come back into the fourth quarter now. So a lot of minutes for Levi and Wiley Green to play together now.
Of course, Levi's on 3 as well, so he's got to be careful. With a big leap into the paint, can't convert. DeBoe's running it back just a little low, but Lee's chasing back, will shoot 2, and Faulkner frustrated. I think he's frustrated with the miss. That's his 3rd personal foul, so the foul's racking up against the Patriots now.
Again, we talk about opportunities. So Plymouth, yeah, they miss at that end of the floor. Caledonia miss a layup in transition, and yet what you're going to, you know, rather than just say, well, we've done the job of forcing them to miss in transition, you've compounded it by giving up the offensive rebound just because Caledonia ran the floor harder than you did.
And even though he's missed the free throw, he's got a chance for the second, and obviously you've got the foul issue as well with another player with something to think about with still 17.5 minutes to go.
And these are important guys. Faulkner and Atwood are the 2 leading scorers for Plymouth, both having foul issues right now.
Wiley was effective in the first half, spins into a double team. Whelan comes away with it. Cross court, on the trail is Omwas, and a foul called.
Well, Princeton Omwas with a great defensive play again, you know, recognized to get the steal. And then it's a 5-on-4 advantage for Caledonia. So Plymouth are moaning about a foul call, which I'm not sure they've got much justification to. But the issue for them is they've allowed a 5-on-4 break, and then they're fighting against that.
Well, we talked about Plymouth getting to the free throw line when they weren't scoring in the first half. Caledonia here early in the 3rd quarter starting to get to the free throw line, and it just helps in a 37-40 game, a low-scoring game, keeps things ticking over.
I mean, the only issue is that you're, you know, previous to those, you're 9 of 15, 60%. Got lucky there. He perhaps got away with a little offensive foul before the DeBose one.
Well, that was certainly what the Caledonia bench was up for. They thought there was a little rogue elbow from Faulkner in the first place. Well, I think that's a little frustration as much as anything else, but 2 quick fouls on DeBose. And I think there's a little chatter between these two. Going to have to keep an eye on it.
I think if you're DeBose, you keep the pressure on, though, because Faulkner's got a lot more to lose than you do right now. You know, the fouls that he has.
Faulkner's going to fire up the 3, and he's going to tell him about that one for sure.
Well, maybe that's what he needs. Some players thrive in those situations. He looks fired up, and now it's DeBose's chance to respond.
Well, you can see he's even a little bit more of a spring in his step defensively as well after that score. Lobbed inside to Alihodzic, who has the mismatch. His pass isn't great, and Plymouth come away with it. And he's drawn another foul there. Omwas knocking Faulkner to the floor, and he's looking a little bit more fired up. It's funny, it's one little thing, and suddenly he's got an extra bounce in him.
Oh, absolutely. You see good ball movement from Plymouth. And he said at halftime, maybe it's the team that just gets going from 3 first and has a chance of winning this one.
Well, he was 1 of 9 shooting before that 3, Faulkner. But he is a guy that we've seen put points on the board in a hurry. He's going for another 3, not this time. Alihodzic wants it on the low blocks. Levi on his back, and that's going to be the 4th foul on Spencer Levi, and suddenly the foul issues is a massive problem for Plymouth. It's that right arm. He's not quite been able to stay out on court today, Levi. He's got just 2 points. He has got 6 rebounds, but the 4 fouls have been an issue.
Wiley and Green are going to have to play a big stretch now. Those two on the front line, and still, a solid front line for Plymouth. A bit more dynamic than with the other guys on the floor. They're two best shooters as well. So can they pull out, the size of Caledonia? Can they get Ali Hodzic to guard out on the 3-point line? That's the question. As we said, it's about the advantage, disadvantage.
Well, it's Yassi Pepin who checks into the game for the first time today, trying to fill the void, a young man you know pretty well.
Yeah, used to coach Charles as a young man at Barking Abbey School. Great character. He'll come and play with energy. He'll get on the glass, that's for sure.
Well, they need somebody to get on the glass, but not that time because Wiley knocks down the shot.
He has been really good, hasn't he? In his spell, Wiley has given them a really good scoring off the bench that they haven't had all season.
9 points, 5 rebounds for him in just over 15 minutes of play. Is Onwas, who can shoot the 3 ball, but way too long on that one. Johnson back out to Wiley, thought about the 3, took the mid-range instead and knocked it down. And he's continuing to bring the punch, and he puts his team in front.
Well, maybe the fouls are the best thing that could happen to Plymouth. It means these guys who are playing really well have got to stay out there on the floor.
Well, sometimes you just happen across a lineup that works. And maybe Paul James has right now, because they've got definitely some wind in their sails here. Nice pass. Wiley out running, hammers down the jam. And Plymouth all of a sudden are up 3.
Wiley fired up, but what a feed from Faulkner.
Well, 4:42 to go here in the third. Plymouth with the momentum, leading by 3. We'll be back after this break.
Skylar White does well to keep the ball from going out of play.
Still got the rebound. He passed it to me. So me and Ethan, as he was running down the court, we was making like eye connection. Like, I'm like, go, go, go. Running, running, running. So then, boom, put between my legs and just threw it. And I just had no look to it. My name is LaQuincy Rito. I play for Chester Phoenix. I'm the point guard. Jazz music is, it keeps you calm, helps you find that rhythm that you're looking for. The term, I have that dog in me, that's me, honestly. Like, I won't back down from anybody, never been, never will. I would prefer doing the assists than scoring, because that's the thing about being a point guard, is like getting your teammates involved and keeping them happy and making yourself happy as well. My play style is like risk and reward, so it's like, what's the point of like playing if you're not gonna take that risk? Because the risk is always gonna be with a bigger reward. I want to be the best version of me. I'm making a connection with my teammates and make brotherhood. The goal is to win.
Jacob Wiley had started all 10 games this season, coming off the bench for the first time. You ask, what would the reaction be? It's been an excellent reaction.
Oh, yeah, superb game so far from Wiley.
Plymouth went into that timeout with the momentum. Can they come out with it, or has Gareth Murray got things going for his team? Wiley with the challenge, and Ali Hodzic will shoot 2.
3 on Wiley, but that's good timeout from Caledonia. Go to Ali Hodzic, his experience going against Charles Yassi Pepin on the inside. And that's where the fouls, for Levi, having him go to the bench, count against you.
Well, the one thing that will concern Gareth Murray here is that they can't put the ball in the basket at the minute. They've got 1 field goal in this quarter. have got to the free throw line. We've been talking about how important that is when you can't score to keep things ticking it over. All right.
I think the worry for Caledonia is, what, 22 points in 15 minutes that they've scored, you know, through that second quarter and now. But the worry really is that they've brought the starters back in and they're struggling for offense. Because now you're usually at that point where they start to go to the bench. And that's been the unit that hasn't been scoring for them. The starters have been pretty consistent. So the worry is if you go through that dry spell with the second unit on the floor, you know, that could spell trouble.
Well, there's a nice drive from Faulkner, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
He's got his swagger now, hasn't he, Faulkner? Feels like he likes this matchup as well. I think he's got fired up playing against Dubose. He started to get going, and now poor Jovicic is the man coming in to try and slow him down.
I saw his debut at Leicester, and that was the thing. That was the word I came away thinking. This guy has some swagger. The way he played, he looked like a confident fella out on the court, and we haven't seen it consistently through, but when he's at his best, he has a confidence in his own abilities, shall we say.
Yeah, he's a guy, you know, he had a good college career. He's one of those players that, you know, for 4 years went to a slightly lower level. You know, had a really good 2 years at Western Carolina, averaged more than 17 a game across those 2 years. Then transferred to the University of Louisville, which is a huge program. Didn't have, you know, a prolific season there. And this is his first season as a pro. You know, he does have that pedigree of being a scorer and a leader on a team.
Well, Plymouth with the lead here. Patrick Whelan trying to tie things up, back iron. Dusha pulls down the rebound. Away comes Johnson to the hole. Whelan did a good job to make that difficult.
Patrick Whelan still searching.
Unsportsmanlike foul called against Joe Hart in transition. Just a little too aggressive, not enough play on the ball. And it'll be 2 in possession here.
This is the issue I have with the unsportsmanlike foul. Joe Hart made that exact play twice against us last week. The exact same play. He's not the last man. He's, you know, he's established position. The ball's coming at him. This week, he's committed the foul. He's called for an unsportsmanlike. Last week, he committed it twice. It wasn't an unsportsmanlike. So, you know, I know it's something that's been talked about, you know, with our referees group, even with the coaches within the league. You know, it's just we need the consistency of if that play is an unsportsmanlike foul, because I'm not really sure the difference between that one and the one that he was doing last week.
Well, the whole change, what was it now, 10, 12 years ago, from the old intentional foul into the unsportsmanlike foul, brought that into play, that transition foul, because you saw, particularly in European basketball, a lot of fouls just to stop the fast break. And the rule maker said, no, we want to see the fast breaks, we want to see the highlight plays, so we want to take out the ability for a defensive player just to hack somebody and stop a fast break. But you're right, there's a slight gray area on that now. Plymouth with a stop. Dusha trying to thread the needle. Wiley does well to come up with the ball. Wiley putting on the floor to the spin, under pressure, great finish.
Wiley's doing everything right now. Nobody from Plymouth looked like they wanted to shoot it. Just give it to Wiley. Good for them.
He's their leading scorer, but 2 straight back for Ali Hodgic. Well, Plymouth in search of their offensive foul called against Yassi Pepin for the moving screen. And Caledonia get it back. I was about to say Plymouth looking for their second win of the season. It won't move them off the bottom because they've played more games, but it'll sure feel better going home with a win. If they can hang on here for the remaining 13 minutes, they've got to get closer to Whelan if they want to do that. And he looks to the skies as if to say, thank goodness for that. One of them's gone in. He was 0 for 7 before that.
Yeah, he hadn't scored, but I'm not sure consistently you can give Patrick Whelan, no matter how many he misses.
Wiley! Through the contact, a big jam! And he's got a free throw coming. has had a sensational game. And he just attacked the rim. Hodges came across and called for the foul, and that's got the fans on their feet.
As I said, Jacob Wiley had, you know, a big game against us in pre-season, and this is the guy we saw then. You know, maybe all he needed was that little bit of fire bringing him off the bench.
Well, this is his highest scoring game now, 17 points. He got 15 3 times. And this is now his best. A technical foul's been called. Is it on Paul James or the bench? It is the C signal, so Paul James must have said something. Well, he looked surprised that he got something called against him, but it can only be for something he said, surely. Well, it's always hard to comment on those ones, because without hearing what he said, you don't know whether he deserved it or not.
Yeah, you can't come in from here. The referee must have thought he said something, you know, must have seen something to give him the technical. But, you know, Patrick Whelan, we talked about him, it's another chance. So he's now made a 3, and he's got a chance for the free throw as well. So, you know, you've got to worry that that's the spark plug to get him going. He's the leader of this Caledonia offense. You know, he's their best offensive player. You know, many people would argue he hasn't had a good game for his standards, scoring the ball so far. But so often you just see once a guy gets going, he's very difficult to then slow down.
Well, he missed his first 7 field goals of the game. He'd only got 2 free throws to show for his efforts before that 3-point shot. Ali Hodges trying to back down, double team comes, ball moves round. The extra pass to the corner, great ball movement from the Gladiators.
Well, those big guys coming off the bench for both teams, Budrick, that makes it the double-double we talked about in the first half. 11 points, 11 rebounds.
Hart fires up, that won't count, it doesn't go in either way. And Yassi Pepin again called for an illegal screen. Confirmation of Buttrick's double-double, 11-11. Caledonia now up 4.
Yeah, crucial couple of minutes this for Plymouth. They just need to ride the storm, get into the 4th quarter of a close game. You know, you don't want Caledonia getting a lead here.
Buttrick again from behind the arc, not this time. Johnson with the rebound. Yassi Pepin putting it on the floor, back out to Johnson. Extra pass to Hart. Johnson bumped in the lane, and the foul called against Ali Hodges. It's his 3rd.
There's an offense to nothing, poor spacing from Plymouth. A couple of guys kind of out of position. Johnson just drove into a lot of traffic. Was fortunate, really, to pick up the foul and especially get to the line.
Silence descends on the pavilions. As Johnson hits the bottom of the net on the first free throw. He's a very good free throw shooter. You kind of expect him to make both, and he does. Well, 1 shot between the 2 teams, 1 minute to go in the 3rd. Jovicic round the screen. Buttrick, no room there. It's round to Malcolm, shot clock getting low. Malcolm putting it on the floor and taking it to the rim.
Fraser Malcolm, you know, is such a good role player, knows exactly what he's able to do. Very good shooter, very good on those kind of slicing drives.
Nice pass. Wiley got stuck under the rim.
2-for-1 chance for Caledonia, yeah, take it.
Malcolm off the mark though. Oh, Plymouth gonna circle back out. It's probably the wise thing. Take as much time out of this clock as you can. Well, he's calling for the screen. Eventually it comes. Johnson for three. Misses everything. Buttrick gets his hands on it. That's not the game clock. Keep playing. Well, he's thrown it away. That is the game clock. He got confused with the shot clock buzzer there. Well, Plymouth started the quarter brightly, but Caledonia will go into the fourth quarter with the lead. We'll have the last 10 minutes after this break. In the corner for the win!
Couldn't convert.
DeBose out to Whelan, open for the lead. Patrick Whelan back-to-back threes, and Caledonia are ahead.
It had to be Pat Whelan.
Steele for the win. No, he ran off. Wang has jumped it in on the buzzer.
They're just not capitalizing here at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're London, you've still got to be worried about it as we see another.
Oh my goodness! The behind the back dot coming.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings with stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, places, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time!
Welcome back to the Plymouth Pavilions. Trent Buttrick with a big double-double off the bench, giving Caledonia the edge here as we start the fourth quarter. Here's Atwood back into the game on 4 fouls, trying to get 3 on the board, but Wiley with the offensive glass, those are the ones you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's going to get a technical foul as well, and that is going to go as an individual foul. Number 4.
Well, Wiley thought he'd got fouled. I think it was a combination of, there was one in the previous play, it was on Wiley.
No.
The where he thought towards the end of the previous quarter, where he thought he got fouled. He thought he got fouled there, and he obviously said something to the referee on the way back down the court. But he is now on 4. Levi is on the bench on 4. Atwood is on the court on 4. They're going to do well to keep a full complement here, Plymouth.
And especially against this big Caledonia front line that just keeps going to the inside.
Wheeling off the mark. Good offensive challenge there from Buttrick. Couldn't quite tip it home.
Plymouth have got to do it by committee. You know, it's the guards that have got to pitch in. Faulkner, Jules Dangokodu, Taylor Johnson, they're the guys that have got to contribute by rebounding in this fourth period now.
Faulkner, step back 3, tough shot, front iron. Difficult over the length of Moore, that. Here's Moore, slowing it down. Well, there is Plymouth gang rebounding. Faulkner steps into the 3, too much on that.
And that's a shot that you take when you're really rolling. And you've just missed the previous one as well.
Buttrick down on the low block late in the shot clock. Has to go to work. Doesn't have much room, gets the shot away.
It's great work from Wiley to clean it up on the boards like we're talking about. Atwood, disciplined defense, didn't commit the foul, just made the finish difficult. And you're rewarded if you're Plymouth. Now, they've got to just get one of these easy ones to go offensively.
Faulkner getting into the key, out to Dangakodo. Now they're late in the shot clock. He has the switch, but it's a tough shot. Doesn't hit the rim, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
It is a big Plymouth lineup. You know, they've got Whelan out there at the 2. They've got Fraser Malcolm at the 3 as well. So, you know, it's a big lineup. They're switching a lot. They take away the space. So it's important for Plymouth to, you know, really stretch the floor. They didn't do it on that offense. And if you allow, you know, Caledonia to be big and take up that room, they're going to make it really tough for you to get any clean looks.
Buntrick. Oh, what a block from Wiley coming from the help side. For a moment like there was going to be some more easy points, and in a low-scoring game like this, 7 points would be a huge lead. They kind of need a stop here. Whelan loses the ball. It's saved right back to him, though. And in the scramble play, they nearly get a 3, but Atwood comes away with it. Johnson, little hesitation, has to kick back out. Faulkner back to Wiley. Doesn't go. It was all a bit like, well, you have a go, no, you have a go, you have a go, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the spacing for Plymouth. It's not at the level they need to be. So when they are trying to attack, they're running into multiple defenders from Caledonia.
Running into, it's going to be a blocking foul. Faulkner's on the floor. That's his 4th personal foul now. Oh. There's his heels. Oh, he got the ball on the head as well, just to compound everything.
Good effort from Faulkner. Yeah. Looked like he was outside.
Yeah.
The flow was pretty straight. So Wiley's going to get a little breather here. And it's almost, you know, take it in turns to foul out. Levi comes back with 7 minutes. See if he can get to the media timeout before he goes. And then, you know, Wiley, see if they can get 3 or 4 minutes out of him before he goes as well.
So Levi on 4. Atwood on 4. Wiley on 4. Faulkner on 4. And it's not just that you have to juggle them in and out, it's the way they play defensively particularly that it impacts on.
And like you said, you know, it's only a 7-point game, but 7 points is a lot when you've only scored 54.
Well, there's what he brings when he is on the court, Levi, the tip in for 2.
It's just a play from nothing. Again, not great offense from Plymouth, tough shot. But Levi, the clean-up man.
More, and that's the thing. They have to be slightly more tentative against the. Well, that's got to be a travel, surely. It is a travel. Oh, this one just has the feel here, as though the next couple of minutes are super important for Plymouth. Caledonia feel like they might be able to land the knockout blow here.
Yeah, I agree. Couple of, you know, going into this media timeout is going to be really crucial for both these teams. Again, Caledonia look like they're just going to milk these post-ups, go to the inside over and over.
Well, you've got 2 guys on 4 to beat, and a guy who's got a double-double to do the beating, and he does at the 2nd attempt.
Where are Plymouth going to go for this offense? Who's going to be the man that steps up? Asked that question in the first half, and Dusha and Wiley did it. Now
it's going to be a foul there, but again, the offense is 1 guy on the low post and 4 guys standing about watching him.
Yeah, and the thing is, when they're playing one-on-one, they aren't able to beat the first guy, draw a second, and take advantage of the help because of the way that they're standing and spacing the floor. So what you want to be able to do is, if they bring a second man to help against you, you can just make an easy pass, and whoever's man it is that's helped can be punished. Right now you can see it, look, everybody just kind of loading up against the ball.
Well, they've got the fortune of a whistle there, because it would have been a turnover otherwise.
Second personal for
Patrick Whelan, unconvinced, I think it's fair to say, but it was his second. Johnson, just a little slip, he's able to keep the ball. Johnson, that's not an easy shot with more diving out at you.
Can make tough ones though, Taylor Johnson. Pretty good at the, pull-ups. Has been a guy that has scored, albeit at the NBL 1 level for the last couple of years, but has shown his pedigree.
Moore, just inside the free throw line, knocks down a shot.
Scoreboard just ticking over nicely for Caledonia. You feel like points just a little bit easier to come by for them.
It's hard to quantify that, but you're right. It feels like the shots are just a little better, just a little easier. Well, that one's easy, but the first one wasn't.
Just the 4th point of the quarter. So six points in this quarter for Plymouth.
Jovicic zips one cross court, 3 off the mark. Who'd that touch last? The referees having a look at each other. It's not clear which way, but they're going to have a little time to think it over. We got a timeout in the ball game. Plymouth trailing Caledonia. Will be right back.
Skylar White does well to keep the ball from going out of play.
Still got the rebound. He passed it to me. So me and Ethan, as he was running down the court, was making like eye connection. Like, I'm like, go, go, go. Running, running, running. So then, boom, put between my legs and just threw it. And I just had a no look to it. My name is LaQuincy Rito. I play for Chester Phoenix. I'm the point guard. Jazz music is, it keeps you calm, helps you find that rhythm that you're looking for. You know, the term, I have that dog in me, that's me, honestly. Like, I won't back down from anybody, never been, never will. I would prefer doing the assist than scoring, because that's the thing about being a point guard, is like getting your teammates involved and keeping them happy and making yourself happy as well. My play style is like risk and reward, so it's like, what's the point of like playing if you're not gonna take that risk? Because the risk is always gonna be with a bigger reward. I wanna be the best version of me. I'm making connection with my teammates and make brotherhood. The goal is to win.
Welcome back to the pavilions. Is there a way back into this game for the Plymouth City Patriots? They've had their moments, but right now they trail the Caledonia Gladiators by 7. Fans doing their bit, trying to lift the mood, lift the team and get them over the line.
I think Jacob Wiley can't spend too long on the bench, you know. Maybe bring him back with Levi, but they need him. He's that scoring punch right now for them. Clearly their leading scorer. He's got 17, Faulkner with 14. The only guys in double digits. Just feel like you can't leave him too long or the game might be over by the time you bring him back.
Well, Faulkner's 14, have come off 14 shots. Bearing in mind he's 6 of 6 from the line. Not the most efficient 14. Whelan, who struggled early on, but seems to have found a bit of rhythm in the second half.
That's what great players do, isn't it? When they're needed, they step up. Last week, Patrick Whelan against Leicester hit the big 3, then the assist to win the game. Now when he needed, makes a play.
The Levi's made a couple of plays here in the fourth quarter as well.
Yeah, he's a great dump-off threat. That's why the fouls are so frustrating for Plymouth. You know, we just haven't seen the best of him today.
A defensive cry from the home fans. The team need a stop with 3.5 to play. Whelan, is that a push-off? Yes, it is. And that will be number 3 against Patrick Whelan.
Good defense from Levi. Just took up position well, made sure he was, you know, he was clean, didn't pick up a cheap one.
Johnson sneaked through the double team, trying to find it to Levi, but deflected out of bounds. Plymouth ball.
Great step from Johnson, just couldn't quite find Levi when he's open. This is be Johnson off a double screen to that far corner looking for a jump shot. Timeout first.
Well, Paul James sensing this is an important play here. 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. His team down 7. The score, you know, if it was a 3, would cut it to 4. They spent a lot of time sort of bouncing between 7 and 10. They could do with getting a little closer.
Still right there, though. That's the important thing. We talked about, you know, going into the fourth period and really throughout this last quarter, you've always felt the game is just right there for Caledonia to kill them off, and they've not been able to do that. So if you're Plymouth, I think you take that kind of positivity that you're still right there. You hit a shot here, 3 minutes, long time to go, a couple of defensive stops, no problem at all.
Well, you would think that if Caledonia are going to tire, given their travels of this week, it would be in the last couple of minutes of the game. They haven't looked too leggy, to be fair, but that man Wiley, you said he probably won't be too long on the bench. How long before you bring him back into the game if it was you on the sidelines?
I mean, I'd be bringing him in, you know, now, maybe even a minute ago. I think that you've got to ride him because he's been your best player today. And like I say, if it means he fouls out before the end of the game, so be it. But you don't want to leave those minutes sitting on the bench. Look for Green coming off a screen here to that far corner. Here he comes.
And he fires up the 3. It's off the mark.
Well, that's why Green's on the floor instead of Wiley. He's got to make those shots.
Played for Caledonia a couple of years ago, and they were still called Glasgow at that point. Green, but he's not quite had the return against his old club that he would have liked. Here's Jovicic off the mark at the elbow. The ball comes out to Johnson.
Fell to the right man because Taylor Johnson's a one-man fast break.
Oh, he needed that one to go. You can see his frustration. He thinks he should be going to the line for 1 free throw and not 2 here. He thinks he should have made that layup.
He's dangerous when he gets the boards, Taylor Johnson, on the defensive end, because he really does get up ahead of steam. It's tough to stop in transition, as you saw there, and he doesn't miss too many of those.
He doesn't miss too many of these either. Taylor Johnson, he's 5 of 6 from the free throw line today. Shooting in the high 80s for the season.
And he's more impressed because he shoots a lot as well.
Yeah,
Gets to the free throw line. It's not, you know, not one or two attempts a game.
Right. Taken 48 coming into this game in 10 games, so it's basically 5 a game. Well, they got it to 5. Stop here would be huge for Plymouth.
A long time to go still, plenty of basketball.
Caledonia trying to put them to the sword.
Ali Hodzic come back in. He was the guy that Caledonia played through in that low block early in this period.
Oh, he's just barreled Levi out of the way, but Levi's going to get a flop warning there. And DeBose with the dunk, and nobody's happy here. And there's been a technical foul called on Green, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, let's have another look at this. Well, I don't know how you can give him a flop for that.
He didn't give him a flop.
Give him a flop warning, though.
No, they didn't give him a warning. The Caledonia team were asking for a flop warning. And I think there's technical foul called on green for complaining it wasn't an offensive foul. And it's a bad technical, though, at this moment, isn't it?
It's a bad technical because it gives them a chance to add another point to the advantage, having dunked in 2. And we talk about how good a free throw shooter Johnson is. Patrick Whelan's pretty good, and he's one of those guys who seems to get better later in games.
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen from Patrick Whelan today. Talked about the travel. We talked about this tough week, but you know, when he's been needed for Caledonia, Patrick Whelan has been there. You know, probably a few more minutes than Coach Murray probably wanted to play him today. He's played 32, but no, despite his shooting worries, you know, he's stepped up 9 points late on for Caledonia.
Faulkner throws up the alley-oop, and there's Wiley to jam it in.
That's why we said he should be on the floor, isn't it? Great pass from Faulkner.
2 to play here. Caledonia by 6. DeBose, they're running the clock down. Now they go to Ali Hodgic. Again looking to back down. He's running out of time. He's got to go quick. They ain't got time for all these passes. They didn't get it away in time. Took too long there, 24-second violation.
That's the play that's going to fire Plymouth up as well. I was just thinking they don't really look like they've got the energy for this last couple of minutes here, feeling like they can get back into the game. But plays like that sometimes inspire you, give you that motivation. If they can get a score here, this crowd in Plymouth will get very loud indeed.
Here's Wiley. Back to Faulkner. Faulkner putting it on the floor. Down to Wiley. He fires up and he knocks it down and cuts the gap to 4.
Jacob Wiley has just been, carrying this Plymouth offense on his back. Another, indifferent offense from them, but just he stepped up with a one-on-one play.
21 now for him. Defense echoes around the pavilions.
Clock again for Caledonia.
Whelan for 3. He did it last week. He's doing it again this week. Patrick Whelan with late game 3s.
That's exactly what we said. When they need him, Patrick Whelan has responded for Caledonia. What a fourth period for him, and what a big shot this is.
Well, he's one of those guys now that it's almost become so routine. We're almost just like, we expect it, but the level that he's playing at, that he's played at over the last few years in the British Basketball League, he is an elite end British player.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since he came back to play in the British League, coming into Leicester, I thought first year in Leicester he was fantastic. And, he's taken a step again here with Caledonia. As you said, he's an elite level player. He's one of the best British players in the league, no doubt about it. And even a game like today where, he'll look at the numbers and he'll be frustrated. He's 3 of 11 for the field. But what do they need? They need someone to make a big shot, and Patrick Whelan steps up 13 points. However he's done it, when they needed him, he's been there.
Well, if you think about it, he was 0 for his first 7 shots, so he suddenly turned it around. He only had 2 free throws for the first probably 27, 28 minutes of the game, and now with the game on the line, he's got 11 more points added to the tally and potentially a dagger 3 here.
Plymouth have got to go quick. They need baskets. It can be a 2 or a 3. Whatever they want to do, they're going to advance the ball, so they'll only get 14 seconds on a shot clock, but they need to get something quickly. Look out for Taylor Johnson trying to get downhill, straight to the rim early.
It's gone back to Faulkner. Trying to get it to Wiley, and that's gone through his hands and out of bounds, and slap of frustration, and that could be the race run for Plymouth. Caledonia are one long shot clock score away from putting this one in the books. Faulkner fouled him from behind, and that will be the end of his evening. 14 points and 5 assists, but he's fouled out of the game. Ball in the backcourt. Just means the shot clock goes back, and it's a long way from here, down 7.
Doesn't really help Plymouth, does it? You know, the ball hitting on the sideline rather than shooting right now. Time ticking away. Choosing not to foul.
Well, Ali Hodgic drops it off, block. But there's a foul called, no basket. Foul is on Green, who is one of the few players not in foul trouble. But Buttrick will go to the line. Well, he's had a good game off the bench. 13 points, not his best shooting night, but 13 points, an incredible 16 rebounds, 6 of them at the offensive end.
From Caledonia has shot it particularly well. Only shooting 34% from the field as a team.
Well, the shooting numbers are almost identical, to be honest with you. 23 of 67 versus 23 of 66 overall. The difference is Caledonia have made a couple more threes and a couple more free throws, and those are the things that separated it.
Yeah, well, we said free throw shooting, you know, potentially could be whoever starts to make them first wins the game. That's what we said at halftime. Plymouth made their first 3 of the second half. They haven't made one since. 3 of 13, I believe they were at halftime. So that makes them, you know, 1 of 9 here in the second half.
And at home, those are the ones that you got to feel like you should be knocking down. Well, there's still 2 shots behind. Douche has gone for the quick foul. So it'll be 2 free throws, but the problem is, in a 6-point game, they only need 1 free throw to make it a 3-possession game.
Yeah, there's certain times on the free throw shooting that there's the pressure. You feel the pressure as a shooter, but right here for DeBose, this is easy work. You know, he's at the line, he's comfortable. And as you said, he only needs 1 of 2, and even if he misses both, you know, they're still going to get another chance, you would think, to shoot from the line.
Well, not an easy game for Caledonia. We talked about their travel. They've got another game in Bristol up the road on Sunday, but they've seemingly just about done enough to get this one over the line. And these are the ones that, you know, if you're going to be a top-end team in the British Basketball League, these are the games that put you at the top end of the table rather than the middle end of the table.
Tough road game, you know, for Caledonia. Tough week for them. Haven't played at their best. Haven't shot it the way, you know, over the season they know that they will shoot it. But the bottom line looks like, you know, still another 30 seconds to go, but looks like they're going to come out with a victory. So they're the ones that you take, you know, when you're not at your best, when it's been a really difficult week.
And at the other end of the floor, Plymouth, well, the frustration will mount. You're in action tomorrow, Lloyd. Surrey, I don't need to tell you that. You already knew that, of course. But Surrey Scorchers taking on Cheshire Phoenix. That game starts at 5:30, 7:30. It's a triple header tomorrow. Leicester Riders against the Newcastle Eagles, and rounding the evening off at 8 p.m. the War of the Roses, Sheffield against Manchester. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can keep on top of all of that and the highlights, and in the paint as well, so you can get the lowdown on all the action in the British Basketball League. Make sure you subscribe to miss nothing. Well, Plymouth need to miss nothing here in the last 30 seconds.
It's got to be a 3. It's got to be quick.
Well, he's trying to get to the basket, so it'll be 2 free throws.
The chance for Plymouth, they've got to make the free throws, they've got to be up. They need a steal rather than a foul.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure the defense is set, which is a lot easier from a free throw. So somehow, can they get up? Can they get a trap? Can they get a steal that will give them a quick return? And as we said, like, they make the 2 free throws and then they commit the foul. It's easy pickings for a Caledonia team, which has got a lot of shooters on the floor.
He's made them both. Can they get the steal? Not on the pass, but in the trap. Somebody's got a little reach in. It's on Atwood. He's not happy, but that's his 5th personal foul, and he'll have to leave the game. Not quite the offensive night that we've seen from him in previous games. Just the 6 points to his name.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if a replay was going to come up. You know, I think Atwood, they felt like they had the trap, that they weren't actually trying to commit the foul. And that's the frustration for Plymouth, because that's what we talked about. You need a steal rather than, you know, putting DeBose at the line to get the easy ones.
Well, more than half of DeBose's points have come from the free throw line. Caledonia with 28 foul shots, which is a lot out of 80. Dusha. Somebody needs to shoot it. Green obliges. That doesn't go. Dusha will take the 3 in the corner. He misses. And Caledonia will get the rebound. And Ali Hodgic, will he run it back for the score? Yes, he will try to. And he's asking the question about an unsportsmanlike. Once you pick the ball up, the only thing it can be is an excessive contact foul. It wasn't that.
Wiley's going to have fouled out on that one. So that's the little round of applause you can hear. Solid game from him. But yeah, let's say 2 free throws for Ali Hodgic.
21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks as well. But he sits down for the last time, having committed his 5th foul. Well, they might end up winning this by 10 points, Caledonia. That would be the biggest lead of the game, 10 points. It didn't look like either team was going to get this far ahead by the buzzer, but it has been for Caledonia a difficult travel week for them, but they've come out of it with a good win in the end. Not at their best. Buttrick with a double-double off the bench certainly helped them. A difficult game, but they've got the win.
I think that's it exactly, Dan. You know, a win for Caledonia. They'll put it in the bag. They'll say these are the ones of games that we've got to make sure we're able to knock off. But it won't be a performance that they'll be, you know, happy, or a performance that will get them wins throughout the season.
Not an easy pick for player of the game. Which way did you go, Lloyd?
Yeah, no, a couple of good performances from Caledonia for sure. Ali Hodgic had a good game, you know, a quiet 17 for him, getting 7 points to the line. But yeah, it's Trent Buttrick will be the player of the game. 14 points, 16 rebounds, double-double. You know, a great performance for him coming in off the bench. And as you said, you know, this is a guy who's been out for a while for Caledonia. So, you know, an important piece back into the lineup for the Scottish team.
Well, they'll have a quick debrief now with the coach, and then it'll be all about recovery, getting ready for Bristol on Sunday. Gareth Murray in some ways, these are the ones the coaches sort of go, good job, lads, we guts that one out.
Yeah, I think Gareth will be telling his team, well done, we did well, we did what we had to, but we've got to be better.
Well, 27% from 3, 38% from 2. Tough way to win the game, but 30 made free throws will sure help.
Yeah, 19 assists, so solid sharing of the ball for Caledonia. They won the offensive, they won the rebounding battle as well, so that'll be positive for them. And then, you know, the turnover battle we took to half-time, that Plymouth only had 1 turnover going into the last 2 minutes of that first half, so the defense stepped up. You know, and for Caledonia, just that experience showed down the stretch when they needed to make a play. They had guys, they had Ali Hodzic, they had Buttrick, they had Patrick Whelan there to step up.
And Plymouth need to shoot better than 16% from the three-point line at home.
Well, again, something we talked about, isn't it? 3 of 13 in that first half. Said they need to get going or they're going to struggle in the second 20 minutes, and they made just the 1 3.
Well, another disappointing evening for the Plymouth City Patriots. They had their moments, and that's kind of been the story of their season, is they've had their moments, but they've not had full games, whereas Caledonia have had key moments at times this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and I think that, you know, the key moments is the important thing, right? When they needed to, Caledonia had that response, 24-18 fourth quarter. Just always felt like they had that next gear that they could get to.
And Patrick Whelan hitting some big shots for them once again down the stretch.
Yeah, so 34 minutes, you know, it's a tough weekend for Patrick Whelan after, you know, playing a lot on Wednesday as well. But, you know, down that fourth quarter, 13 points, you know, a couple of steals, couple of assists in there as well. So solid production from him, and he's becoming this go-to guy for Caledonia.
Well, let's have a look at the schedule for the week. A big win for Cheshire last night. Caledonia have won. London are a minute or so away from beating Bristol at the Copper Box. 3 games tomorrow. Lloyd and the Surrey Scorchers taking on Cheshire. Leicester versus Newcastle. Part 3, 7:30 tomorrow for that one. 8 o'clock game is Sheffield against Manchester. We mentioned that Caledonia going to Bristol on Sunday at 3 p.m. Plymouth back in action. The London Lions doesn't get any easier for the Patriots. They're coming to the Pavilions on Sunday. They'll be hoping for something a little better than today, but a big ask for them. Let's have a look at the standings in the British Basketball League. London well clear at the top, but Caledonia on the rise, catching Bristol up there in second place. And, well, you'll be delighted that you've still got a bit of a cushion off the bottom, Lloyd. It's always better to be off the bottom. Well, that will do it here at the Plymouth Pavilions. And as I say, good win for Buttrick and the Caledonia Gladiators. Needed a big fourth quarter to get it over the line, but they got that. Good luck tomorrow, Lloyd, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.